So let's talk Ashley's identity. When you said you don't really, you're not really in the shadow of Logan, you don't want to forge your own path. I know that you're an animal lover.
Yep.
You're actually a certified dog trainer, which is pretty interesting because we have pets and we've had dogs in our life as well. Tell me a little bit about your identity.
Yeah, I think, when Logan was drafted, we were in this really interesting situation where I was also an athlete in college. I was on a full scholarship to Rutgers for softball, and that just kind of goes away, right? There's no real pro softball. There's no avenue for me after this. And then I'm moving in with my boyfriend at the time who's living his dreams as a pro athlete. So I'm happy for him. Of course, it was an amazing experience, but at the same time, what I had centered my identity around was no longer. I didn't have that sport. I didn't have to wake up at 5 a.m. and lift. And that was really hard for me. So I call it like I was in this floundering retired athlete stage, which everybody gets to eventually, but I was there at 22.
Okay.
And so we move up. He's playing for the Patriots, and I had no idea what I wanted to do. No idea. And I dabbled in some things, personal training, this and that. I was trying to stay around the game, so I was coaching, hitting lessons, things like that. And eventually I felt a pull towards dogs, specifically towards animals, and I applied for a job at a local animal shelter. I didn't tell them, oh, I'm superstar Logan Ryan's wife. I just applied for the job, got the job. I was cleaning litter boxes, cleaning kennels, walking dogs, doing the dirty work. And a couple weeks went by before anybody really realized, and I'm like, hey, can I have Sunday off to go to my boyfriend's game? Oh, yeah, sure. Where does he play? Like, oh, he's a New England Patriot. And they're like, wait, what? You've been here for weeks and we didn't know that? But I tried to just kind of make my own way. But once I got into the shelter, that's when I realized, like, okay, this is something I really love. This is something I want to be around. I love helping animals. I love training animals. I love finding homes for these animals. And that's kind of where I ended up.
Okay. I was thinking of something. When you told your parents that you had a boyfriend, did you tell them that he was Black?
Initially, I didn't tell my parents anything. I think this was the first time, like I was in college, we were figuring things out. And initially, no, I didn't tell them anything. But once this was serious, the first person that has to approve is baby sis. So my sister was the first person I told. And yeah, I did feel like I had to mention it. I had one boyfriend in my life before Logan, and he was white. Okay. Right? And I don't really know if it was going to be a thing, but I told my sister. She met Logan. Like, oh yeah, he's great. I like him. Love that guy.
Nice.
So I'm like, okay, cool. Then I told my parents, and this whole thing that I may have worked into being a big deal in my head was not at all. And I remember my dad's specific quote was, "The heart wants what it wants," and they were cool. My heart wanted Logan.
Well, it's a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so that's
course.
why I asked. And even for my mother, who's Japanese, when she brought my African American father home to the family, they were like, initially, right? But then we had this great relationship now. Everybody accepted us, especially when you have kids and then the grandparents meet the kid. It's just like all that goes out the window.
Yeah, and I think it's more like my little nucleus of a family was one thing, and that's who matters most to me. Once it gets to the extended family and people from the hills of Virginia and the people that live in these really small towns, almost like Amish country in Delaware, Maryland, Pennsylvania, yeah, it got a little like, Mom, you can handle that explanation. You can, but I think everybody in my family loves Logan, accepts Logan, loves us together, and that all worked out really well.
That's awesome. So the other night I asked you what your ethnicity was, and you were like, I'm white, right? What kind of white? Can you break that down?
Yeah, I think that was my answer. I'm all kinds of white. Not a huge, overwhelming presence of one thing, but I'm Polish, German, Irish, English, and then the rest is just a whole mix of other white.
Okay. Are you in touch with any of those cultures?
I didn't really grow up with a huge influence from any of those cultures, and I think Polish is the most prominent thing on my mom's side of the family. I remember making pierogies with my grandparents in their kitchen, but it wasn't, we don't have the same, I didn't grow up with the same cultural values and traditions as someone like you or someone like Logan. And that's why I think I really take in these experiences differently. I love that stuff. I kind of wish I had more of that growing up. So I encourage my kids to really embrace the Trinidadian roots, the Caribbean, the Puerto Rican, just these things that, they get to grow up having that kind of identity in their life, I think is really cool. So, once I met Logan and I was in the backyard with the reggae, I'm like, oh, wow, this is great. I love that your family is like this. I love that our kids are going to have this influence.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Let's see. Tell me real quick about your dogs. What kind of dogs do you have?
Right now we have 3 dogs. We have a pug beagle mix named Nala. We have a pit bull, Leo. He's my other soulmate. And then we have a beagle named Minnie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I know that Logan, instead of flying them, he drove them from your previous home all the way to Florida.
Oh, yeah. We've driven the dogs across the country many times. Logan's done it. I've done it. My dad, my sister. We've made the dog road tripping into just a part of our adventures in our moves. We've moved a lot of places and vacationed a lot of places. And if we're there an extended time, the dogs are coming. They're part of the family. So we got to figure it out.
Right
They're
on.
not going on the bottom of that plane either. So.
Yeah, no, I know that's torture for a lot of dogs.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you real quick about your relationship with Logan, what kind of husband he is. How did he propose?
So we had our daughter, Avery, when we were 24 years old. And I was setting up this huge, first birthday cake smash photo shoot for her. And as we set the cake down and have the photographer in front of us, Logan is behind me on one knee and proposed that way. Oh. So her cake smash first birthday photo shoot combined with our engagement shoot. It was actually pretty clever.
Okay. Right on. So he is sweet as well. I'm going to let Kenji ask you a question. But I do want you to address Logan, your husband, the father of your beautiful children. And I want you to express your love to him.
Yeah, I can do that. We've been together since we were 20 years old. And I feel like we have grown up together. We've had kids, we've had careers, we've had moves. And the one constant has been us and our love for each other. So I'm grateful for that. I appreciate you. I love you. I love how hard you work for our family. And I'm excited for the rest of our adventures together.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Ashley.